Welcome everybody to Sin City Living. My name is Jason and I'll be bringing you today's episode. As always, please hit those like and subscribe buttons. We have a ton of content for you guys coming out every single week, every single day generally. Occasionally miss a day like I did during the rodeo that is still ongoing right now. And I hope all of our patrons out there are appreciating the patron-only exclusive videos we're putting out with the dice class, putting one out every couple of weeks. And if you're curious about that, go ahead and check the description down below. Once I get this whole live stream thing figured out, I'm probably going to do a live stream on the patron site as well. One on the regular site, one on the patron site. I do have the new computer for it. Theoretically, I have everything ready. I'm just so busy currently with this rodeo. And one of our fans asked a question a little while back about ways to tip us, to show appreciation to us without having to sign up as one of our patrons. And at the time we did not have any way of doing it, but I have managed now to get us signed up with a site called Buy Me a Coffee. As I'm sure some of you guys have noticed from some of our videos, Louie and I are both pretty heavy coffee drinkers. So if you're curious about that as well, go ahead and check down below in the description as well. We would definitely appreciate any cups of coffee you're willing to pick up for us. And don't forget to email us with any strategies, questions, suggestions, anything at all. We love shooting those videos for you guys. I actually haven't gotten a new email in about 2 weeks. And also, don't forget, anybody that may be interested in one of the small Sin City Living neons that we have, just email us that as well, sincitylivingLV@gmail.com. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and get into today's episode. So for today's video, we are going to talk about one of the most underrated strategies out there. It's one that almost nobody ever talks about. It's one you almost never see. The thing is, with most strategies are designed without any actual thought to what is your goal? What kind of role are you looking for? Most of the time, these really complex strategies, what they're really designed for is the what if on a short roll. How can I stop myself from losing money on these short rolls instead of how can I win money on the above average rolls? And those kind of rolls where you're trying to minimize your loss, you're trying to make your loss as small as possible, is also making your win smaller. And then it just becomes a slow circle down the drain. You're slowly going down the drain. And what you really want to do is you want to come up with a strategy that is designed for whatever you consider your win point to be. Maybe you're trying to shoot for those rolls that are only 10 to 12 rolls long or 15 rolls long. The little 10-minute rolls that happen with some regularity, not super often, but with more than enough regularity. Maybe your goal is that if you hit one of those rolls, you just kind of maybe broke even on your strategy, and you're really shooting for those 20-minute rolls, the 30 roll without a 7 kind of rolls, those 20 to 22-minute rolls, or maybe you're even saying, if I hit even that amazing roll, I just want to be up just a little bit, and I'm really shooting for these 45 minutes, hour-long rolls, the 45 to 60 rolls without a 7. And this strategy that I want to talk about, I'm actually going to compare it with other strategies, some of the other top strategies out there, and just see how they would perform, and just show you how it's going to perform on the middling rolls, the 15 rolls without a 7, statistically. Now remember, what this looks like on these statistical rolls is kind of almost a worst case scenario, because if you're already breaking the 6 rolls without a 7 thing, you've already broken the statistics. And most strategies are really looking at just one number to roll more often than is likely to happen. And I'm only going to show you what would be statistically likely to happen. So it'll give you an idea with this very underrated strategy and 2 of the other extremely strong strategies, or better known strategies, of how they will perform on the shorter rolls, the 10-minute rolls, and then versus, say, the 20-minute rolls, and versus, say, the 40-minute rolls, and then versus, say, the hour-long rolls. I'm going to try and show you all of the possibilities. So what is this strategy? Well, this strategy is extremely basic. Now, just like anything else, any other strategy, it doesn't care what the point is. I'm going to set the point as 9. Right? The point is not going to matter. In fact, I'm actually going to get rid of the puck because the point is not going to matter, aside from the working or not working on a come-out roll. So this strategy, if this were a $10 table, and this strategy works on any table, just starting out at the minimum bet. We're going to pretend it's a $10 strategy, or $10 table. This strategy is the old standby, just press one unit. Pressing one unit. It's very underrated. People don't understand how powerful this strategy can actually be. And it's pretty strong in the middle area of the rolls. You end up winning more than you might think you would win, and you also manage to minimize your losses on the 5 to 7 roll, and then a 7 pops up. And it's just simple press one unit. Now, along with that, we're also going to compare it to a classic properly done iron cross. And then I'm also going to compare it to a mid press, and then I'm going to compare it to a power press. And we're going to see how all of these will perform on the statistical likelihood of rolls coming on 15 rolls without a 7, 30 rolls without a 7, 45, and 60. So let's take a look. So if we're looking at 15 rolls without a 7, statistically, the 2 and the 12, they would each come up a half a time. So we're going to say the 2 comes up 0 times and the 12 comes up once, just so that we can look at if something were to pay triple. We'll look at just, kind of the best case. So that has absolutely no effect on the pressing one unit, the mid press, or the power press. But a 12 rolling once does have an effect on the iron cross player. Okay? Now, the 3 and the 11, both of those statistically you're going to come up one time each. I actually need to add those to my notes because I forgot to put those in there. So they're each going to statistically come up one time each on a 15s, which means that the iron cross would get paid $10 twice. Okay? Now we go into the 4s. Statistically, 4 and 10 are going to come up 1.5 times each. So we're going to do one time on the 4, and then we're going to do 2 times on the 10. But I'm just going to go down the list on the 4s. So the 4 is going to come up one time on a 15 roll without a 7. So we're going to assume that this is not a buy. And the first player is just going to press one unit. So they get paid 18, so they collect 13, and they press up one unit. The iron cross player just receives their whopping field bet. The mid-press player is going to get paid their $18, and the mid-press player is probably going to go up to 20 because they are designed to try and collect a little bit. Now, the power press player would go all the way up. Power press player would probably throw in some money, but we're just going to go all the way up and not throw in any extra money. Now, the 5 on a 15 roll without a 7, the 5 statistically is going to come up 2 times. It's going to come up twice. So first, we have the pressing one unit player that'll throw in $1 to get paid 15. They'll collect and they'll press it 1 unit. Now, the second time around, it's going to get paid 21, and they're going to press it 1 unit, so they go up to 20, and they're going to collect the rest. The iron cross player is going to collect $11 because they have to replace their field bet, and it pays 21, so they'll collect $11 twice. So we'll just do it this way. Keep this switched out for ease of use. Now, what about the mid-press player? Well, the mid-press player is going to do it a couple different ways, but most likely the first time around is going to press 1 unit. And then the second time around, it's going to collect $11 and go to a quarter. Now, power press player. Power press player would throw in $1 and go to a green. Second time, they'd go all the way up. They're not going to collect anything on this one. Now the 6. 6 and 8 statistically are going to come up 2.5 times. So we're going to do 2 times and 3 times for 15 rolls. And we'll smooth it out when we get to 30 rolls. Because then at that point it'd be 5 and 5. So we'll say the 6 is going to come up, what did I say, 2 times? It's going to come up 2 times. So the press 1 unit player does exactly what we just said, and they press it 1 unit the first time. So the second time, they're going to, again, press it 1 unit, and they will collect the rest. Now, the Iron Cross player, once again, is going to make $11 twice. So they're going to make $22 total. The mid-press player. A mid-press player here is likely to press it 1 unit the first time as well. And then the second time is very likely going to go up to 30. Now the power press player. The power press player normally would throw in an extra $4, so we'll put them at -$2 because they're going to go up to 30. So they're at -$2. And then the next time around, they would throw in another $1, so they're at -$3. We'll say they're at -$3 and would go all the way up to 66. Okay? So now let's look at the 8. So the 8, the 2.5 times, 2 times, and we'll do 3 times on the 8. So the pressing 1 unit player, once again, goes up 1 unit. And then the next time around, goes up 1 unit. Iron Cross player. Oh, I'm sorry, they still have the third time. Goes up 1 unit again. Iron Cross player. This time around, they're making $11 because they get paid $21 minus that $10. They're making $11 3 times. So we'll give them 35 for 2. And now the mid-press player. So the mid-press player, first time, press it up 1 unit. Second time, take me to 30. Third time, they will throw in $2, go up to 42, and call it a day. And power press player. Power press player is at -$3 right now. They are going to throw in $4, so they go to -$7. They go straight up to 30 the first time. Second time they throw in another $1, so they're once again at negative. They go up to 66. Now, the third time around, they need to throw in $7. So they're actually going to be at -$15. I'm going to do it this way so I can tell that this is a negative. They're at -$15, but they go all the way up to 150. See, the power press player stays stuck for a fairly long period of time here. So they are at -$15. So now we go on to the 9. So the 9 statistically will come up twice. So the pressing 1 unit player will throw in $1, collect 10, press it up 1 unit. Then they will, second time, press it up 1 unit, collect again. The Iron Cross player is going to make $20. We'll give them 25 for 5 because they're going to get paid twice right there, make their $10. The pressing 1 unit player, or the mid-press player, I'm sorry, the mid-press player, first time, press it 1 unit. Second time, go to a quarter. And the power press player, Power press player is going negative another $1. So they're negative 16 because they went up to a quarter. And then they went all the way up to 60. Now we get to the 10. So the 10, we'll say 2 times because we said 1 time for the 4 because it's actually 1.5 times each. So 1 time for the 4, so we'll do 2 times for the 10. So the pressing 1 unit player collects a little bit. Then the next time around, presses it 1 unit, collects a little bit, and that's their 2 times, and they are now at 20. The iron cross player collects $20. They collect the field twice. The mid-press player gets interesting. They're probably just going to go 1 unit the first time, and then the second time, they're going to pay 30 for 3 and go up to a quarter. Now the power press player that is stuck $16, probably going to collect $3, go up to there. So now they're only stuck $13. And then the next time around, they're going to be stuck $14 now because they're going to go all the way up to 75 most likely. Okay. So after a 15 rolls without a 7, statistically, looking at these strategies, one thing that you notice is that while the iron cross is doing the best right here, it's because they are same betting everything. So as the roll gets stronger, the iron cross is going to get weaker and weaker and weaker in comparison. Plus, a lot of iron cross players will start pressing a little bit. So what you see here as the profit is not going to be the profit for most iron cross players, because most skilled iron cross players, because they are going to be using some of it to press. But if they just do the plain and simple iron cross and same bet everything, they're looking at $177 in profit, right? Well, what you notice is this pressing 1 unit person has $166 in profit. They are $11 shy of the classic iron cross profit, and they don't ever get paid on a 2, 3, 11, 12, and they are using part of their winnings to press. Because every time they press, they win more next time. And even though they're pressing a little bit, they're still winning more. And it starts to add up very quickly. So that's why I say that the press 1 unit is such an underrated strategy. It's so simple, and yet in the middle rolls, it's collecting, and it's collecting pretty quickly. It's only outpaced by a same bet strategy. It's the only thing that outpaces the press 1 unit, and its profit is better than the mid press and significantly better than the power press in the shorter term. This 15 rolls without a 7, this is probably a 10-minute roll. Because at this point the bets haven't gotten too crazy, so it's not slowing the roll down with how the play is going and all that. So 15 rolls, not too shabby. But we're going to take a look. We're going to go another 15 rolls. So now let's take a look at it as we add the next 15 rolls into the mix. So going up into the next 15 rolls, we're going to look at the 2 and the 12. The 12 statistically is only going to roll once out of the 30 times. So since it already rolled once on the 15, we're not going to do it again. But we did 0 on the 2, and this time the 2 is going to get its roll, so we'll pay it double. So the iron cross player is going to get their $20 there. Now for the 3 and the 11, they're each going to get 1 more hit apiece. So I'm going to take 80 from them and give them 100 because they'll get paid $10 twice right there. That takes care of the 2, 3, the 11, and the 12, which don't affect any other roll except for the iron cross. So now, let's keep going. So now we get to the 4. So statistically, the 4 and the 10 in a 30 rolls without a 7 are going to roll 3 times each. Now last time around we did 1 and 2. So we're going to add 2 more to this one, and we're going to add 1 more to this one. So here we go. Let's look at the 4 first. So pressing 1 unit, the press 1 unit player collects 22 basically. So that's the first time. So now the second time, that is going to pay 40 for 1. Well, could pay a couple different ways. So we'll pretend it's not a buy yet. Almost every place is going to have this as a buy, but we're going to pay it as if it's not a buy. So we'll pay it 36. And again, we press 1 unit. Now the iron cross player just gets 2 hits on the field, so they get another $20. We'll give them 25 for 5. Now what about the mid-press player? So the mid-press player right here is going to get their $36. Now they're already at 20, so they're very likely to go up to 40. Mid-press on the 4 and 10 are, actually they'll probably just go to a quarter. They're going to go to a quarter the first time around. Now the second time around, they throw in $1. They go up a quarter. Mid-press on the 4 and 10 oftentimes just start doing kind of a classic press where they're actually just doubling their bet every single time because, well, why not? So the power press player is going to get 2 more hits on the 4. Now, right now, they are stuck at 14. They are $14 in the hole. They're actually going to be $15 in the hole because they would throw in their $1 and then they would press it all the way up. Now, then the next time around, it's going to get paid $146. They're going to go up to 200. Power press player is going to go up to 200. This is going to be the point where they kind of collect a little bit. Now, they are stuck $15, so they pay off their $15, and the power press player now has a $6 profit, sitting on a $6 profit. And instead of going straight down the line, I'm going to deal with these in chunks so I don't lose my place. So now we're going to look at the 10. Okay, so the 10 would only roll 1 more time because we did 2 last time around. So $36 for the press 1 unit player. They go up to a quarter. The iron cross player collects their $10 from the field. Boom. Mid-press player, they don't really have the $1 to throw in, so we're going to go ahead and, actually we're going to do it this way. We're going to pay 54 for 5. And they press up. And the power press player, $146. Going to 200, collecting. So now let's look at the 5 and the 9. 5 and the 9 are going to add 2 more rolls each. Pretty basic. 2 more rolls each. So pressing at 1 unit player goes up to 25. Then they go up to 30. You guys see how fast this pressing 1 unit player is raking in the dough. So now, the iron cross player, they lose 10, but they win 21, so they're making $11. They're making $11 twice, so they make another $22. We're going to do 27 for 5. Iron cross player's done. Very, very basic. Mid-press player. Mid-press player gets paid 35. They say, you know what, make it 36. Done. Next time around, they say, take me to 50. Power press player. What does the power press player do? Well, power press players get paid $84. They throw in $1, so they get paid 85. Look what they have. 145. Make it look like 150. Throw in some more. More. Now 150 gets paid 210. Take me to 350. And collect a little bit. Boom. There we go. Now let's jump over to the 9. So the 9, pressing 1 unit player, goes up to a quarter. Then they go up to 30. Iron cross player, again, gets paid twice. We're going to pay them 25 for 5 because they only get paid in their field twice. Mid-press player, take me to 36, and then take me to 50. You notice the mid-press player starting to catch up here. Power press player, 85 for 1. Throw in another 5. Take me to 150. Pays 210. Take me to 350. Now let's look at the 6 and the 8. So the 6 and the 8, they kind of get mixed up a little bit. Before we did 2 and 3 because they had 2.5 times statistical likelihood. They were statistically likely to come 2.5 times each on the 15 roll. So now they're likely to come 5 times. So we did 2 and then we did 3. So this time we're going to add 3 more to this one and we're going to add 2 more to this one, okay? So adding 3 more, the press 1 unit player does exactly what they say, and they press it 1 unit the first time. The second time, they have to throw in $1 so they can press it up 1 unit. Go to 36. And then the third time, they go to 42. The Iron Cross player has 3 hits at $11 each, so that would be 33. We'll do 35 for 2. Now the mid-press player throws in $2. They go to 42 the first time. The second time, they're going to go to 60. And the third time, take me to 90. Power press player. Power press player is at 66. They're going to have to throw in $7 more. We'll give them 3 change there. They're going to take their bet to 150. First time. The second time around, power press player is actually going to collect the green this time. They're going to go up to 300 because it pays 150 pays 175. And they're going up to 300, so they actually collect $50. Now from this point, now the next time around, they're going to collect another 50, and they're going to go all the way up to 600. 300 pays 350. They're going all the way up to 600. So then we get to the 8. So the 8 is going to roll 2 more times for each one of these players. So again, press 1 unit person goes up to 36 from 30. Then they're going to go up to 42. Iron Cross player gets 2 more hits, so they make $22. We'll give them 27 for 5. Now we'll look at the mid-press player. Mid-press player is going to go up to 60 the first time. You can tell I've done that press once or twice in my time. Then they're going to go up to 90. Power press player. Power press player collects their green, goes up to 300, then collects their 2 green, goes up to 600. Now, this is showing the pretty darn good roll. This is 30 rolls without a 7, so this is probably a 20 to 22 minute roll. Now tonight, in my 6 hours that I was actually working, not counting my 2 hours that I was on break, of my 8-hour shift, I saw one 22, 23 minute hand that was approximately this many rolls, approximately 30 rolls. And although it definitely broke some statistics in some other ways, and I'm actually gonna film that particular roll later on today as well. And I also saw a 35 minute roll, which was probably about 40 rolls of the dice without a 7, 35, 40 rolls of the dice without a 7. So it was a little bit stronger than this one, but not quite as super strong as the next 15 rolls that we're going to show you guys in a second. Now, what I want you guys to take a look at is with 30 rolls without a 7, with some of the most common and generally accepted absolute best strategies, especially for winning the most money. And you take a look at these, and who's won the most money right now? It's the person that's only pressing 1 unit at a time every hit. They've got $508 in profit. The Iron Cross player, the classic Iron Cross player, has $344 in profit. This is exposing the weakness of the Iron Cross if you don't press. If they are pressing, things change a little bit. The first 15 rolls, their profit's way down, but the next 15, it starts to really rise up. Because most Iron Cross players are going to go and kind of bleed into a mid-press method. Mid-press player. Mid-press player has $499. $499 in profit. Power press player has actually managed to pull some profit. They are sitting on $178 in profit. So this is why I say that the pressing 1 unit is the most underrated strategy out there. It's very simple. It's so simple and looks so plain that nobody really thinks about it. But we're on basically a 20 to 25 minute roll here. And the person that has won the most money is the person that is pressing the tiniest bit. The mid-press player, the power press player. Now, those ones will really start to shine as we go further into this roll. But you'll notice that for most rolls, the mid-press, or the pressing 1 unit, is outperforming all these other strategies. It's such a simple strategy. No one ever talks about it. Now, let's look at the next 15 rolls. So for the next 15 rolls, now we're kind of we're transitioning from a 22, 23 minute roll to probably closer to a 30 to 35 minute roll here, because now we're looking at about 45 rolls of the dice without a 7. So let's look at the 2. The 2 is not going to roll again. The 12 will get one more time, so we'll give another $30 to the Iron Cross player. Now the 3 and the 11 are each statistically likely to roll one more time each, so we'll give them another $20 or 25 for 5. So the Iron Cross player is covered. The 2, 3, and the 11, 12 don't affect people that are just playing 64 across, including. But again, as you notice from all these profit levels, those 2s, 3s, 11s, and 12s don't make a huge difference in the amount of money you're throwing away by trying to make sure you've got every number is actually hurting you. So now let's go to the rest of the numbers. So the 4 and the 10, because of the statistical likelihood of 1.5 times more coming in this next 15, we're going to add 1 to here, and we're going to add 2 to here. Makes it nice and simple. So now we're definitely in the buy range of the 4. Since we want to have a red to press it up, we're not going to have the player throw anything in. Next time around, the second time it hits, that is going to pay $58. We're going to pay $60 for 2. And again, we're going to press it 1 unit. This player's doing just a very, very, very simple press 1 unit every single roll. Iron Cross player is just going to collect their $20 for hitting the field twice. Now the mid-press player. The mid-press player is going to throw in their $2 for their VIG. The mid-press player is going to go up to 100. The second time, they're going to throw in their $5 and they're going to go up to 200. So what about the power press player? The power press player is going to get paid $400 for 10. So we'll do $415 for 25. So we have all of these. And go to 500. If you're really going for it, you go to 600. But most people are going to go to 500 because it's a fairly simple, easy number to calculate out. So now let's jump over and let's take a look at the 10. So the 10 we are giving, oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't supposed to do 2 hits on the 4. I was only supposed to do 1. So I'm going to change it slightly, and we'll do 2 hits on the 4. We'll only do 1 hit on the 10. That way I keep things where they are supposed to be. So, once again, press 1 unit guy, collects everything else, except, again, 1 unit. The iron cross player just collects the field once. Mid-press player would throw in their $2 vig, go to 100, collect the rest. And power press player is going to go to power press player is at 200. Must have made a mistake somewhere in here, but instead of going back all the way through and figuring everything out, we're just going to keep on going because I don't think they should be there quite yet. So their 200 would get paid 400 for 10. So they have 600 to work with. They're going to collect the black, go up there, and go. All right, so that's the 4 and 10. Pretty sure I made a mistake in here somewhere. This should not be where it is at. In fact, I know it should. This should only be at 200. Not too sure where I made the error, but the power press player should be at a much lower. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and drop it back down to here because this is where they should be statistically because they have to catch up to the 4 that has rolled one more time. So however I made that mistake, this will fix it right here. All right, now let's look at the 5 and 9. Statistically, the 5 and 9 each are going to hit 2 times each. So 30 is going to pay 42. Player's going to go to 35, collect the rest. The second time it hits, they'll pay 50 for 1. Go ahead and press it manually. Boom, they are done. Power press player, the iron cross player is going to get paid their $22. We'll do 30 for 7. 30 for 8. Sorry, 30 for 8. Because they hit their field a couple of times. Pretty much all they're doing. The mid-press player gets paid $70. They go to 75. Collect the rest. Next time around, it pays 105. They go to 100. Collect the rest. Now the power press player is at 350. Pays 500 for 10. Very likely going to go to 750 here. So they're actually going to collect a black. They go to 750 the first time. Now the second time it hits, this pays $1,050. Power press can't quite hit table max. We're going to go with the $2,000 table max since we did a $10 minimum bet table. Can't quite hit table max, so they'll go to 1,500. You notice the power press is starting to shine a little bit here. So is the mid press. And the iron cross is definitely getting beat at a pretty good clip. So now we'll look at the 9. Again, it's going to hit 2 times. This pays 42, pay 45 for 3. Pressing at 1 unit. Next time around, they throw in $6. Press at 1 unit and 50 for 1. And that's the press 1 unit. The iron cross player just gets their $20 for hitting the field twice. The mid press player go to 75 and go to 105. Power press player throws in their $10 to get 500. So they'll throw in a green, so 515. Go to 750. And then $1,050, go to 15. And let's swap a couple of these out just so I have some ammo to work with. All right. Now let's look at the 6 and 8. So the 6 and 8, we're going to add 2 to the 6 and we're going to add 3 to the 8. Okay? So the 6 hits twice. The pressing 1 unit player is getting paid $49. They're going to go to 48. 48 is going to pay 56. They go to 54. Iron cross player, their 2 hits, they make $11 in profit. Which would be 22, we'll give them 27 for 5. Cross player is done. The mid press player is going to get paid 105. Go to 150. And then they're going to get paid 175. Now, As a mid-press player, this is where you start getting some weird stuff. Maybe they go to 210. Maybe they go all the way up to 300. With a mid-press player, you never can tell. Now, the power press player is going to do exactly that. They're going to power their way up. So they collect 100, they press all the way up. The second hit, they're going to collect 200, press all the way up. Now, if we're doing a $2,000 table max on the 6th, the power press player is now at table max. They're at the maximum bet they are allowed. Okay, I'm going to need a little bit more ammo here, so let's swap a couple of these out. Before I get to the 8. Okay, that's enough ammo right now, at least to deal with the 8. So the 8 is going to hit 3 times. 3 times. So this player, again, as we've covered already, gets paid $49. They're going to go up to 48. Then it's going to get paid 56. They're going to go up to 54. Then it's going to get paid 63. And they're going to go up to 60. And I'll break all that down in just a second. Iron Cross player has 3 hits. We'll give him 35 for 2. 3 hits in the field, or 3 hits for $11. Because the field is hurting them. Trying to stay in there. Now the mid-press player. Mid-press player, take me to 150. First hit. Second hit. Let's do it this way. 200 for a quarter. Take me to 210. Third hit. Third hit pays kind of interesting. Pays $245. Go to 300. Power press player, first hit, goes up to 1,200. Actually running out of black over here. Didn't think that was likely to happen. So they're going to go up to 1,200, first hit. Second hit, they're going to collect 200. They're going to go up to 1,400, or 2,400, sorry. Now, the third hit, they're at table max. They can't do anything else. So they're going to collect 2,500, or 2,800. 2,400 is going to pay 2,800. They're at table max, so they're just going to collect. What I'm not going to do is what I would do as an actual power press player, and that is I would start double parking and adding in a come bet with odds. I'm not going to do that as we demonstrate this. So we're at 45 rolls without a 7, so approximately, like I said, approximately a 30 to 35 minute roll. Now let's take a look at how these strategies are performing. As we swap all this out, the pressing 1 unit player has actually managed to get themselves a banana there. They got a yellow chip. So the pressing 1 unit player has made $1,054 in profit. The Iron Cross player has made a whopping $521 in profit. The mid-press player has $1,415 in profit. Pretty strong. The power press player has $4,348 in profit. See, as you go deeper and deeper into the roll, the power press player that has been pushing for table max starts getting paid very large amounts of money, even when they are not putting everything onto their number, but actually taking some back. They're taking back a significant amount because their bets have gotten so high. The mid-press player, their bets are getting up there because they're collecting a little bit as they go. They are also already collecting over 1,000. They're coming up on 1,500. The press 1 unit player, again, such an underrated strategy, has over $1,000. They've doubled up the iron cross player. And what you saw earlier on in the roll is even 5-6 rolls into this, the pressing 1 unit player has come pretty darn close to zeroing out their bet. They're zeroing out their 64 cross and paying for itself. So again, it's a very underrated strategy. And we will take a look at it going for the final 15 rolls, going to 60 rolls without ace 7. So we'd be pushing about an hour-long roll on something along those lines. Okay, so let's look at how these are going to go for these final few rolls. So we'll start with the 2 and the 12. 12 isn't going to roll again, but the 2 will roll again. So the iron cross player would get paid double, so they get paid $20. They get 25 for 5. Now the 3 and the 11 are each going to roll 1 time each. So again, 25 for 5. And that covers the unique, the 2, 3, 11, 12s that nobody else is betting, because everybody else knows how rarely those roll and how much they're hurting themselves by trying to make sure they catch those. So now let's look at the 4 and the 10. So the 4 and the 10 are each going to roll 6 times apiece. Now, because of how I somehow messed all this up, we are going to look at, let's see, so the 4 is a beat ahead. So we're going to look at 1 more time for the 4 and 2 more times for the 10. Okay? So the press 1 unit player gets paid 70 for 2. Press it up 1 unit. And the iron cross player is going to get paid their field once. The mid-press player will throw in their $10. They collect they get paid 400, they're going to collect 200, and they're going to press it up. Power press player. Power press player is going to throw in their green and probably go all the way up to $1,500. So let's look at the 10. So the 10, $2 vig, we'll just pay it 58, make it lazier. It's paid 58, press it 1 unit. Next time around, they throw in their $2 to get paid 70, press it 1 unit. Iron cross player just gets 2 hits in the field, so we'll do 25 for 5. Mid press player, we'll pay it 195 this time around. They go all the way up. Or they go up, they press it. Then they get paid 400 for 10. And they go up to 400. And the power press player is going to get paid 400 for 10. They'll go up to 500, collect a black. Then they would get paid $9.75. And go to 1,500. Now, all it would take is for the 410 to have broken the statistics and rolled 1 other time for them to be at table max and have collected over $1,000. They would have collected significantly more than $1,000. They'd have collected about $2,500. But that is the 4 and the 10. So now let's look at the 5 and the 9. They're each going to roll 2 more times. So the mid-press player, or the press 1 unit player is going to get paid $56. Press 1 unit, collect the rest. Second time around, they're going to get paid $63. We'll pay it 65 for 2. They go to 50. Iron Cross player collects their $11 twice, so they'll collect 27 for 5. Makes it a little easier. Mid-press player. Mid-press player gets paid $140. Now, there's a couple different ways they can do this, and it really depends on how they would choose, how they would want to do it. So let's say they're just going to go to 150. Okay. Now, the second time around, that 150 is going to pay them 210. And so many different ways they can go with this. Say 250. We'll just take them up to 250 because they want to collect a little bit. Power press player. 1500 is going to pay 2100. They are going to go to table max. And then the next time, they're just going to get paid 3,000 for 200. Because again, they are at table max. So what about the 9? So the 9, we're looking at getting paid 56. Press at a unit. Then we're looking at getting paid 63. So 65 for 2. Take it to 50. Here. Power press player is just going to get paid 25 for 5 because they're going to hit the field twice. Or not power press, keep doing that. Iron cross player hits the field twice, so they're just going to get paid 25 for 5, get their 20 bucks. Mid press player gets paid 140. Take it up to 150. 150 gets paid 210. Take it up to 250. Power press player gets paid 2100. Goes to table max. And then gets paid 3,200 because they are already at table max. So 6 and the 8. So the 6 and the 8, to get to the statistical likelihood, we're going to do 3 more hits on the 6, and we're going to do 2 more hits on the 8. So the pressing 1 unit player is at 54 right now, so they're going to get paid $63. They're going to go up to 60. Now they're going to get paid 70. They're going to go up to 66. And then the third time, they're going to get paid 77. They're going to go up to 72. Trying to keep this clean as I go. Iron cross player gets paid their $11 3 times, so that's 33. We'll give them 35 for 2. The mid press player. Mid press player is at 210, so it gets paid 245. Go to 300. Collect the rest. It's the first time. Second time around, it's going to pay 350. A couple different ways a mid-press player is going to go on this one. They could just go up to 450, or they could go all the way up to 600. A lot of mid-press players at this point go up to 600. That's the second hit. Now then, the third hit is going to pay 700. The 100 go to 900. That's what a lot of mid-press players would do. Now the power press player is going to get paid $2,800 3 times. Okay. So 28, and then 3,000 for 2, and then 33 for 5. That's it. That's the 3 hits for the mid-press player. So then we get into the 8, and the 8 is only going to hit 2 more times. So first we have the press 1 unit player, goes up to 66. 66 pays 77. They go up to 72. Iron Cross player collects their $22 twice. So 27 or collects their $11 twice for 22. And then Then we have the mid-press player. Mid-press player will collect $50. Collect $50. They're going to go up to 600. Then the next time it hits, you're going to throw in 100. They're going to go up to 900. Power press player is going to collect their 2,800 2 times. So 6,000 for 400. And there we go. After 60 rolls without a 7, let's take a look at how these strategies are doing. Mr. I'm playing super conservative, I'm just pressing it 1 unit at a time, has collected $1,778. Mr. I've got the most brilliant strategy in the world, I can't miss, I hit every number. Iron Cross player has $688. Mr. You always have to press and press, but you still want to collect some, has profited $3,350. And Mr. There's no point in playing unless I'm walking away with all the chips or none of the chips, and it's usually none of the chips, I can promise you that, has collected $27,188. So that is how all of these would stack up, going all the way up from a 10 to 12 minute roll to a 20 to 25 minute roll to a 30 to 35 minute roll to a 50 minute to an hour long roll. And again, like I said, pressing 1 unit is so simple, very underrated. Almost nobody ever really looks at it and realizes just how strong it actually can be. So I hope you guys find this interesting, illuminating, enlightening, or just plain fun. Thank you guys very much for watching, and we will catch you guys next time. So, as I promised, I wanted to go over very briefly our upcoming attempts at a third test live stream. So what's happened so far? The first test live stream just flat didn't work. The problem that I had was was an equipment problem. I had an equipment problem in that the equipment that I was using to translate the camera into streamable video to the computer required a better USB port than the computer I was using at the time. So that one just flat failed because it would not translate into the computer. The computer would not pick it up, would not read it, so I wasn't able to live stream it. So then, as I was looking through, because I'm a little bit of a tech head, as I was looking through all of my other stuff, because I do have 4 laptops here and 3 computers, I did find one that actually did have the newer style USB port. Unfortunately, it was actually my oldest laptop, but I figured, what the heck, let me give it a shot. What's the worst that can happen? And this time around, when I fired everything up, the video was actually translating onto the computer, so things were looking better. But then when I attempted to live stream, the computer was not powerful enough to be able to translate it and then upload it sufficiently. So it basically just uploaded a blank screen for the live stream. So what I am going to have to do is, and I'm already looking into all of my options, I'm going to upgrade my computer so I can add, what, a 7th, 8th computer to my household. And I'm going to go much, much higher, and I'm going to get a computer that is far more than I need for this, far, far, far more powerful than I need for this. That way, any future upgrades that I may do, the computer will be able to handle it. So unfortunately, this computer is going to cost me about 25% more, about 25% of what I've already laid out in all the equipment for this channel. So it wasn't something that I could just instantly buy. I'm probably looking at Black Friday or Cyber Monday. So hopefully I have it within the next couple of weeks, and then I'll do another test live stream and see if I can go from there. So I will definitely do at least one weekly live stream on our Patreon because they're the ones that are really helping us get this computer. And the other equipment that I'm going to get, because I figure if I'm buying the computer, I might as well buy the most high-end capture cards and things along those lines, get everything as good as possible, and then hopefully eventually get a better microphone for you guys. So yeah, that's where we stand on the live stream. As soon as I have the computer and I do the test, which will be in a few weeks, like I said, I've got to order it in a week or two, then I have to wait for it to ship. Plus we have probably the biggest event of the year coming up, the NFR National Finals Rodeo. So I'm basically working 2 weeks straight, as is my wife. So not going to have a whole lot of time. But once we get all that under control, then we'll figure out. There's been some schedule changes to myself, some schedule changes to my wife, and some upcoming schedule changes to my wife as well. So hopefully we can get all the scheduling figured out so I know when I'll be able to live stream as well. My initial plan of Thursdays at 6 o'clock is already out the window. I'm at work at that point now. So we will get it all figured out, and we will let you guys know, I promise. And otherwise, I hope you guys have found this interesting, enlightening, illuminating, or at least just plain fun. And we will catch you guys next time. Bye now.